for ISIS, I would say, is poor.
All right, fascinating. Thank you very much, Tom
Thank you.
Keating.
So, are all gay men secretly Tories? Well, our guest Ivan Masso, he thinks so. Speaking to Attitude Magazine earlier this week, Ivan argued gay males don't realise it. But when you start to dissemble and ask them the questions that are multiple choice, they're Tory. He went on to say, but you were obliged to stand on the left and throw rocks at the right, almost as if they enjoyed it. Ivan reckons it was like a class hatred thing, and I didn't see that as being productive. Well, with me now, the human rights campaigner Peter Tatchell. Welcome to the Daily Politics. Ivan Masso, first of all, what's your evidence for saying that more gay men are secretly Tory than admit?
Well, I need to clarify that I was talking about that not all gay men are Tory. That they're more likely to be not that they're more likely to be conservative, but they're less likely to realise they're conservative because they, as I made a point in the piece, and actually I've done a big piece today in the Pink News clarifying it after the Twitter abuse I received. Because I think they're kind of self-censorial. They kind of position themselves on the left because they think it's a safe place to be, and also because it's part of our brand as the gay community.
Right. Well, Peter Tatchell, what do you say to that? That actually, just some gay men just don't realise it. They've been supporting the left because traditionally, historically, they champion gay rights more than the right.
Well, the evidence is we just don't know. When there have been surveys of the wider LGBT community, the strongest support has been for the Greens, Labour and the Liberal Democrats, and that Tories have always lagged far behind because of their historic record of opposing gay rights. And even today, the Conservatives are opposing gay rights. Even today?
But has that changed? Has it changed in terms of the numbers of gay men supporting the Tories now, bearing in mind we've had the same-sex marriage bill?
Well, it may have slightly increased, but we don't know because there's been no authoritative surveys. But I would say people are very, very angry that the Conservative government is supporting discrimination in pension inheritance for same-sex marriage partners. They're being denied the pensions when their partners, the full pensions when their partners die, and that does not apply to heterosexual couples. Also, David Cameron, only just last week, refused to give any indication whether he supported sex and relationship education in schools that would be inclusive of gay issues to help combat prejudice.
So, Peter Tatchell, can I say confidently you don't have Tory leanings?
I don't.
You don't, thank you.
But I do respect and thank David Cameron for pioneering same-sex marriage, although it was a flawed bill because of the pension discrimination.
We haven't had the evidence as yet, according to Peter Tatchell. Do you think it will change? Do you think there will be more support from the gay community for the Conservatives since bills like same-sex marriage?
I think so, because if some gay people look at their lifestyle, they'll realise that they maybe are in favour of smaller state, less interference. They may be reluctant to admit, but maybe want to spend less on tax, and they're attracted to work and entrepreneurship, and they even want to marry now. They're kind of deeply patriotic and aspirational. They have a lot of conservative values, and they want to own their own homes. They're frequently Tories, but they just don't realise.
What about that point, just on economics, that actually there are a lot of gay men and women who would be Tory voting because of the economic principles that Ivan has espoused, putting aside some of the social issues?
Well, I'm certain there are some gay men who feel that way, but we don't know. This is just based on Ivan's anecdotal evidence.
It's the only people he meets.
His very rich friends undoubtedly do support the Tories, and that's their choice and their freedom. But I don't think we can generalise about the wider community. And people are grateful for the same-sex marriage, but they're angry that the Conservatives still support aspects of discrimination.
Right. Thank you very much, Peter Tatchell. Now, there's just time before we go to find out the answer to our quiz. Ivan, let me remind you of the question. It was, which of these is the odd one out? A, Madonna, B, Robert Mugabe, C, Fidel Castro, or D, Boris Johnson?